and welcome to another edition of the OOTP 21 Perfect Team Series. Get them while they're hot because we are ready to get started on OOTP 22 in about a month or so. This is part 89 on 2/21/21. I'm Big Paulie coming to you, and weren't we just here about 50,000 points in the Perfect Point Bank? We're in Bronze League 206. This is day 189, and let's see how well we did this week. It was last week we had about 50,000 points in the bank, we being me, and I'm curious as to how it is that I have 50,000 points again this week. Now, per the ground rules that I established last year, I do not spend any money on building up my perfect team. This is just up from scratch. And I think what I'm going to do this week, because I had about the same points last week, is try to get a couple perfect players and build the team that way. In this league, I finished 83 and 79, which is about what I was doing last week. And let's see, was that good enough to make a playoffs? No, I was 9 games shy of the wild card and 23 in my division. So this will be a freebie for me. Let's see how we did in our league. I always like to look at runs scored, runs against, and I think that's a good harbinger of how well I did. And I was 5th in runs scored, 9th in runs against, so it might be time to pick up some pitchers. I have a lot of starters on my team, and I have a lot of closers, guys who could throw hard. So let's see if I could look at the transaction history first and see if there were any big scores in the past week. I got 4,000 for Jose Ramirez, 1,000 for Jeff Kent, and Larry Walker. Larry Walker must have sold because it was 29,970 on that alone. You might remember last week they were asked. The average was pretty high on Larry Walker, even though he was a diamond. And with that, I think I'm just going to get a couple of perfect players here. Look up the old auction house. Or we might do a mixture of something. Okay. Face of the franchise. A perfect Evan Longoria. Ricky Henderson is available. But I kind of play the sabermetric way. So it wouldn't really be conducive to my team. Let's see. Everybody on my team had double-digit home runs, and Robinson Cano had the best batting average at 301. Aaron Judge, he hits his 19 homers, but he stinks up the place on the batting average. Willie Mays is my center fielder. I want to keep him, so I want to focus in. In fact, he's my only perfect player right now. So what I want to do. Let's see here. Go to the auction house. I don't want to get a center fielder because it wouldn't make sense to get a center fielder if I already have a good one in Willie Mays. But here, look who is here. I have special edition Babe Ruth. Probably the player of baseball history, the Bambino himself. So I'm going to get that. There you go. Get the Bambino. Bada boom, bada bing. So I have 2 Aaron Judges on my team at the moment. So I'm going to get rid of one of those. And what can I get that would help my team for 16,000 points? Well, I need to get a pitcher. And I have a Scherzer. Let's see here. And I have all these guys who are diamonds. So what we will do is go to the coins. No, that's not what I wanted to do. And we're going to get a diamond and 2 gold packs. And if you want to get more before you open them up, you go here and you hit get more. Because I always make that mistake. 7,500. I could get a historical, but historicals, that's a mixed bag. So we'll get 2 golds, and we're going to open these puppies up, and we'll start with the diamond. So we'll put up about 18 players. I haven't listened to the OOTP podcast, but they're doing some sort of White Sox tournament, which would be a good thing if you're a White Sox fan. Here's JT Realmuto. I think I already have him. He's now a 98. And Dan Quisenberry, closer, 1980. So we'll open up other ones, our gold packs, and we'll get busy selling some of these. David Price, who I believe is still with the Dodgers. He did not play last year because of the whole COVID thing. Dan Wheeler was my historical card. He's a 47. And he is the son-in-law of Dwayne Statz, who does the Rays games on what is about to be Bally's. Would be Bally Sports Florida, or they're about to change their name. Fox Sports is. A couple of golds in this pack, so this wasn't too bad. Okay, so we picked up Trevor Rosenthal and Byron Buxton. Andy LaRoche was my historical. I shouldn't have gotten, but I got. Okay, any additions? So we have a little selling to do. David Price. Hopefully the price will be right on him. I always used to say on Twitter, back on one of my old accounts, that, if David Price was pitching, that the Boston Red Sox were the next contestants and the price is right. Sounds familiar, right? I'll go $13.75 on Pricey, and he'll go at $1,000. Nobody wants him, but somebody might want him. Let's see here. We're down to TJ Zench, or Zoich. I don't know how I got that. And he will go at 9, and I'll put him up to 18. Maybe somebody will take pity on me there. So let's go through all of these. I got 2 Brandon Workmans to go through. And Joe Nathan's the guy I'm keeping, so don't let me sell Joe Nathan. But if I wind up selling Joe Nathan on accident and I don't realize it, it'll be too late. 30-60 Mr. Conrad of the Giants. And let's see here. Carlos Estevez. I don't think he's related to Martin Sheen. 9, and I'll go a little higher on the max bid because he once sold at 240. I'll go 27 on that. I got 5 closers now, and I'm going to sell all of them. Jace Fry. No, not the Jace from one of the early Big Brother seasons, who wound up in Canada playing their Big Brother a few years back. I take it with COVID having canceled their last season that Big Brother is no longer a thing up there. And if somebody will correct me if I am mistaken, I hope. The thinking on COVID now is maybe early next year they fix it, but that it could be gone as soon as April. And we certainly hope that's the case. What a nasty disease that turned out to be. We'll go 28 on Quiz and set them up at 56. Anybody wants him that high? Going back to the OOTP podcast, they still haven't mentioned any details as to what they're going to do with release number 22. Trevor Rosenthal will go up, and this will be a big one, 1150. So I'm not going to tempt fate too much. You want him? I'll give him to you at 1200. So we have Dan. Here's Dan Wheeler. As I was saying, his father-in-law being Dwayne Stats. Now, how good is that? And I'll go a little high on Wheels. 29. Married the daughter of Dwayne Stats. And so he's got him as a father-in-law, and that's not a bad thing. For a minute, I thought my phone rang, so I got up and checked it, and it was not ringing. Brandon Workman will go 8. And at one point, he was selling at 55. Well, let's see, because he was 69 up until recently. I go 28 on him. And next week, spring training is set to begin. Pitchers and catchers all reported. Looks like we're going to have a normal regular season. And no, I don't care for the simulation because my team is not in the playoffs, so we'll just ignore that. Astudillo will now sell, and he's only going for 1150. I'll put him up at 1500. And we'll keep JT Realmuto. Now, I should check and see. My catchers are 97 and 96, but I have another JT Realmuto on the team. Manny Pena. Well, Pena. Okay, Manny, you're going to have to tell me how you pronounce your last name. Put him up at 72. So we're down to a whole bunch of second basemen. Eddie Alvarez. Go at 6. And if you really, really want him at 12, you can get him. But the value of some of these players who are in the iron level is they could play multiple positions. So when you are initially building a perfect team, I said reality. Why did I say that? If you are initially building a team, these players have value. But as you get into getting the bronze, and then you get the silver, and then you get the gold, these players start losing value. But initially, these cards are very valuable if you are just building from scratch. Okay, so we keep DJ LeMahieu, and we get rid of Mark Mathias. See, another player who could play two positions well, and two other positions not so well, but it gives you flexibility to have all these players. You know, like it's like throw it to another sport. What if Tom Brady could play free safety as well as he plays quarterback? Then you would want him on both sides of the ball. Speaking of which, high school football. Any of you ever check out Friday Night Legends? That looked like I was watching some YouTube video on that, and that looks like a very impressive game. 45, a little pricey, but I'll go 140 on LaRoche just because he's historical. And you only get 10 teams with it, but it's a very interesting idea of having kind of a bowl-bound version of high school football. There is a team I was familiar with, St. Thomas Aquinas, down here in Florida. My alma mater, Largo High, got knocked out in the playoffs They made the semifinals of the playoffs 2 years running in '07 and '08, and in '08 they gave St. Thomas Aquinas their toughest game in the semifinals. But by their toughest game, they still lost by like 21 points, like 34-14 or something like that. And my high school has had a few players make the NFL in recent years. Marcus Pascal, who now coaches them, Dexter McCluster, and Leonard Johnson, who played at Ohio State. Yeah, I didn't think Aaron Judge would go for much. So 4-4, 4-4, get more, 4-4, and 5,200. I'll put him up at. So if I get 50,000 points next week, I will be very, very surprised. So hopefully you will learn some new details about the OOTP 22 that'll be coming out next month. This has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well wherever you are and whenever you see this. Godspeed, God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye bye for now, everybody.